This podcast contains potentially adult language, adult themes, definitely drinking, and possibly sexual context. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Drinking with Authors, the literary briefs edition. As I'm coughing my head off, I'm still getting over COVID. It lingers with you. It's just fun. I brought it back from Dragon Con. That was exciting. Dragon Con, then COVID. So that's been fun. Anyway, this is the Literary Briefs edition. I'm your host, Erica Lance. I might have already said that because I've already been drinking. My co-host today is the amazingly wonderful Danielle Orsino. Our sponsor today is Skunk Brothers Spirits, coupon code DWA10. Danielle, what should we tell the people listening right now?
Don't forget to like and subscribe and maybe leave us a little review since you've been drinking, because we love to read drunken reviews.
We absolutely do. Okay, our guest today is Janelle Ciesielski. I said it right? Ciesielski.
Yes, Ciesielski.
Ciesielski. I've had a little bit to drink, which we're about to discuss, so I'm very proud of myself. Okay, let's talk about what we're drinking. I am drinking the very last of my can. It's only got half of it left, of Angry Orchard Hard Fruit Cider Tropical. I can't find this anymore. It makes me very sad. Danielle, what are you drinking?
I have got my Barefoot Red Moscato, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Barefoot should sponsor us when you're on this podcast, because
they really should. That's all
they
I
really
drink.
should.
I know they really should
do that, because you get free boxes of wine. That's how that works. Okay, Janelle, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking the always refreshing glass of water.
Yay!
We understand. We understand. We're outside. It's an afternoon. It's a little afternoon. Okay, so rapid literary briefs, rapid fire questions. You ready, Janelle?
Let's do it.
What is your favorite book of all time?
Oh my gosh. Outlander, because it's got men in kilts.
Good answer.
I love it. I love it. What is your least favorite book?
Oh.
Yeah.
What is it? Let's do Great Expectations. Boring. Sorry.
That's okay. You can say that. Don't get me started on Jane Austen. I have a whole entire rant that I do on Jane Austen.
But the movie with Ethan Hawke was amazing.
Ethan Hawke is amazing. I mean, the movies can be better because they shorten it, but some of these books are just really long. And like,
is it that adaptation of it where he's in modern day Gwyneth Paltrow and the whole art dealer? Oh my God, it's great. Not the book. I love the movie.
Snooze.
I'm sorry if anyone can hear this, but it sounds like there's a prop playing in the background, which is weird.
Nope, can't hear it.
Okay. Nope. Anyway, okay, good. Well, that's good. I can hear it. Prop playing. What is your favorite? And you might use the same answer you did for your book, but book to movie or TV show adaptation where you think they did a really good job with it.
I'm going to say The Last Kingdom by Bernard Cornwell.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
That is probably one of my favorite shows, because they have taken this morally gray character and just made you fall in love with him. And I think that they have enhanced the characters in it, because they did the same thing with Outlander, I feel. But The Last Kingdom is just a phenomenal story, and taking this character that you could probably hate, but you end up loving him anyways in the journey that he goes on. So it's a great adaptation.
Very cool. What is one where you're like, they did a terrible job with this?
So many.
Oh, I know there's so many, but what is one that you were like, I hate them for doing this?
Oh gosh. Oh, you know what? The new Persuasion on Netflix. It's awful.
I haven't seen it yet. So
Now
I won't watch it because
they turned her. So that's one of my favorite stories from Jane Austen, although I don't want you to get upset, but that's one.
No, I know a lot of people love Jane Austen. I just think, like, I am not the waiting. There's not a lot of action to me in Jane Austen books. There's a lot of trepidation and a lot of thinking about things and a lot, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a very, very, very slow. Like, yes. I don't like about it. I'm just like, this takes forever. ever. It's honestly, like, I love the Lord of the Rings movies and stuff, but I do not love the books because there is a tremendous amount of walking in the books and a tremendous amount of description of trees and shit like that in the books. And I do not want hate mail for this because trust me, I'm Lord of the Rings tattoos, avid fan. Just the walking, like I can't, it's kind of like what happened with the Clan of the Cave Bear. It was a great book. The Plains of Passage was 5,000 pages of talking about wheat. Like,
right. Just get to it. I get it.
Yeah, like skip to the end. I loved Bridgerton, the TV shows. I didn't read the books, so they might be different.
I
But
haven't seen them.
for that region, because there were Regency, but they
kept it going.
There's sexiness and there's going and there's tension, and you're like, I'm engaged in this. Not like, dude, you've been sewing for the last 3 fucking chapters. Can we move along? There's got to be something else to be doing.
I get it.
Continue talking about your Jane Austen.
Okay. So yeah, I think it was horrible. I think the actors who were cast were just not good at all. They changed up a lot of the personality of the characters, and why you loved them from the original story was not how they are in this one. They tried to make it funny when it's not really funny, and it's done badly.
Oh, that's with Dakota. No.
Yes, Dakota Johnson.
Johnson, that's it. Yes. I've heard a lot about that.
Some people really liked it, but I was like, no.
Yeah, I have heard things about it. I've heard mixed reviews on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could be any fairy tale or mythical creature, what would you be and why?
I think I would want to be Cinderella because she has awesome shoes and she marries a prince.
Are you talking Disney Cinderella or the original?
No, the Disney one.
Okay, because I was going to say, this is not a pleasant story.
No, because none of the original fairy tales none of them end happily. Nice. So I'm talking
like, because that's not the point of fairy tales. It was stay in your station. Don't try to go beyond who you are. That was the whole point of the fairy.
Stay in your lane.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I would be Disney Cinderella because she has amazing shoes, but I think it'd be cool to be a unicorn.
Yeah. Okay. Those are good. Those are good. Danielle, your world famous question that most people don't agree with, but go ahead.
I know we have this debate. If you were going to come face to face, and you have to come face to face with one of these 3 things to prove they exist: Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, or UFOs, which one do you pick?
Loch Ness Monster, because I get to go to Scotland.
There we go.
Did you hear her reasoning as why, though, Danielle? It
doesn't matter. She said
the monster itself. If Bigfoot was in Scotland, she would have chosen Bigfoot.
I might have.
Not.
That's Danielle's thing. And it's so funny. The other day I saw a news article where they said that they had more proof.
It's exciting.
The Loch Ness. Like, they've gotten recent pictures of what they believe is the Loch Ness monster. And so I sent that to Danielle so that she could continue. Most people, by the way, say Bigfoot or UFO. Drives her crazy because I feel like that's one of those setup answers where she has the question, but she wants a specific answer to the question.
I got it.
So are you
Bigfoot or a UFO could chase you. A Loch Ness monster, you could just
unless you're swimming with them. Exactly. You're from the shore. You're safe. UFO abduction, Bigfoot mauling. There's a lot there. You got to unpack that.
Yeah, it's true, but you don't know how you're going to encounter them, or like you have to set up that particular. You're proving they exist, so somehow you're surviving that particular encounter. You just might be surviving with an anal probe. You don't know. That's fine.
It depends. You could be Bigfoot's wife.
I guess that's a true story. What trope do you love? What is one of your favorite tropes?
Enemies to lovers.
Okay.
Nice.
And what is a trope that you hate?
Friends to lovers or secret baby.
You're not a fan of the secret baby, huh?
No, I don't like children in stories. Like, I like my daughter, but I don't really like, I'm not really a kid person, so I don't like to read about them.
Are you saying in like romance stories and stuff? Because there's children's books that have children. I'm assuming those are okay.
Yes, those are children's books, but in the type of books that I read, 'Cause
Okay.
they're taking away from the central romance, you know?
That's true. Babysitting does take away from central romance themes.
Mhm.
Danielle, my friend.
That's a good point. What is your spirit animal?
Oh my gosh, my daughter asks me this all the time, what my spirit animal is, and she told me, I forgot. I think it's a white tiger.
Well, that's cool.
Wow. That's pretty specific. Cool.
A friend of mine's is a puffer fish.
Oh,
That was hers. She said she's a puffer fish. And I'm like, this is not some. What about you, Danielle? Did you ever say what your spirit animal is?
Oh, it's Nessie.
Okay, that's not an animal. That is a magical creature right now.
they say it's a
Yeah,
plesiosaurus.
Not technical. We might not know what it is yet. I'm positive if I stand on the shores of Loch Ness, that thing's gonna pop his little head out with his little, like,
Little,
braid
but that
thing.
thing is huge. That's not little. Its
But
head
in
is going to be
my
bigger
mind,
than half your body.
but he's cute. He's been waiting for me. He's gonna have his little Scottish brogue and be like, "Come on, let's go for a swim. I'm on my back."
Oh my gosh!
And we're gonna go off.
I would pay money to see this happen. Pay
Yeah.
money.
Just
We
whisper
used
my name when you go to Scotland across,
No, I
across
think
the
that
lake,
sounds
and
like
you
a
might get it
travel
like.
tour.
I
I don't
might get a
want you to
little
show
red.
up and go, "Where's Danielle?" And I'm going to be like, "She
Yeah.
decided not to come." I don't know what to tell you,
And
Nessie.
he'll be like, "But you've been around her, like
Yeah,
it's
and then
just
he's
the
going to be
aura."
pissed that you're not there, and I'm going to have to deal with that. You might have heartbreak. I don't need a crying dinosaur on my hands. Like, it's a lot of work. You're putting a lot of responsibility on me. I don't think I can.
Throw him my card and be like, "Here, travel here."
Yes, travel here. She's in the middle. She's landlocked, but absolutely travel to her. Here, that's how you do it.
I'm sure I got a lake around here somewhere that he can, underground passages.
You can Amtrak. No, just kidding. Okay, so do you always finish books, Janelle?
I'm sorry.
Do you always finish books?
Yes. Wait,
Why is that?
reading or writing?
Well, both of them, but let's start with reading. Do you always finish books even if you don't like them?
No, I used to, because once I commit to something, I like to follow through no matter what it is. But then recently I decided, you know what? Life is too short to read bad books. There's
Thank you.
so many books out there that I will never be able to get around to reading. So why finish something that just isn't doing it for me?
I'm glad you said that because I agree 10,000%.
Mhm.
What about writing? Do you have a story graveyard?
No, I think once I've started writing things, I've finished them.
So
I have a story idea graveyard where a lot of them have gone to die, but
do you ever resurrect them?
sometimes I do when I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to write next. I'll go back and look through my idea list, and a lot of them I know that'll probably never go anywhere.
What about oh my god, I just had a brain fog. Thank you. Cider. What about short stories? Do you write short stories?
Not short stories, but novellas.
How many novellas do you have done?
I have one that's been published, one that's coming out in the spring, which is a collaboration with 2 other authors. And then we're working on a second one to pitch soon that should be a Christmas collection.
Very
cool.
cool. How was that writing with other people?
The first one that I wrote was not a good experience. We just did not mesh well. I think it was the group. And the one that I'm working with now, these 2 authors, they're very professional. They know what they're doing. We each have our own ideas, but we're respectful of the other one and are doing our best to make the stories come together. So it's been a really good collaboration between us, and we've become friends, which is nice too.
Oh, that's
Very,
good.
very cool. Danielle?
If you could visit one mythical place or made up magical place from the literary world, where would you go and why?
Probably the Shire from Lord of the Rings, because I think deep down I'm really a hobbit because I like to eat food and they look peaceful. Yeah.
I love that you said that. I also love that you went to be a dietitian. You're like, I hate lettuce, so moving on from that.
I know. I don't
So,
like.
in the vein of that, what is your favorite weird food combination?
I love Doritos with French onion dip.
That is an
Put it down on the list, Erica.
Yeah. Oh, ugh.
Any
Yeah.
kind of Doritos specifically? What's the or
The
just like
regular,
original?
cheese.
Original.
Mhm,
Okay.
Original Dorito with French onion
Got
dip. The Hella Good one, that brand. Can't be just any kind. It needs to be the Hella Good brand.
There you go. Okay.
I know
Interesting.
it sounds weird, but it's so good.
Well,
We've
see,
heard
we're
every
keeping
kind.
track of all these weird food combinations with another one of the co-hosts, and we're gonna do an episode where we sit down and try them. I think it's not gonna go well for us with all of the
No.
ones we've been given. No,
No.
but
No.
we're gonna see how that goes. I do want to try the grilled peanut butter and jelly though. I think I might try that in the next couple of days. Somebody talked about a grilled peanut butter and jelly. So you
Okay,
make it like
Wow,
a grilled
that's
cheese, but you
interesting.
do it with peanut butter and jelly.
that
Huh.
could be interesting. That's not too weird.
No.
Because
No.
the combo's normalized.
Mhm.
So Doritos and French onion dip. Got it.
Hella good French onion dip.
That's right.
Okay, I'm sending it now, so she adds it to the list. Okay. So is there anything that just completely drives you crazy that an author will do when you're reading besides trope problems? Like, is there one thing that'll absolutely make you shut the book?
Usually when because I read a lot of romances, when the hero and the heroine, the love interest, when they get into an argument and you're like, if you would just talk about the problem, none of this would be happening. But they have these stupid reasons why they won't talk about the problem. And I'm like,
Just for the record, almost every TV show that exists is based on lack of communication.
yes.
I'm saying this now, but now when you watch TV, you're going to notice this. But it's
Yes.
literally like if people would just communicate, the show would not be the show that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's something that a lot of writers just use because it's easy.
It's easy.
But
you
that's
can
all a
do
soap
it.
opera is just not communicating.
You can do it in a believable way where for whatever reason the problem isn't discussed. There are some people who can do that in a believable way, but I'm just talking about like the obvious, like why are you not discussing this? It should be
Yeah, it's just
bad
setting up
writing.
unnecessary conflict.
Exactly.
Agreed. 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle?
DC or Marvel Comics? Favorite? Marvel girl, DC girl, what's your take?
There's a pausing, just in case you're listening to the audio of this. It's not that it. The author has paused for it, my friend.
Try to think.
Or
I
not
like-
a fan at all?
I don't
She
read
said
comic books.
Bucky, but there's Bucky involved. There's Winter Soldier, so we already
Yes.
know that part.
So I love Batman. But I think Marvel has just really knocked it out of the park with, I guess, their movies and their storylines and stuff. So, but I'm a huge Captain America fan, and then obviously Bucky Barnes. So
Sebastian Stan, how you doing? I mean, that's kind of, whether he was in the uniform or in the Winter Soldier,
right.
you weren't going wrong either way. on
that's
that one.
right.
He's supposed to
Got
be
that.
the new Luke Skywalker too, because he looks just like him.
He
Is he
looks
really?
just like him.
He does. If you look up Sebastian Stan Luke Skywalker, like Google that, you will see he looks just like a very young Mark Hamill before his accident.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Mark Hamill's even like acknowledged how much they look alike, and he said he should play me if they ever reboot. That's who should be Luke.
He'd do a good job of it.
I wouldn't turn that
You
down.
guys just want to see Sebastian Stan in things. It doesn't matter what he's in. You're
That's
like,
true.
he could play Gru from Despicable
I
Me.
saw him in the Tommy and Pam thing. He was great in that. He was almost unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a really good miniseries, I have to say.
They did a good job with that one.
So you said you read biographies. What's the latest biography you've read?
I haven't read a biography in a long time. I used to read them a lot more. I've read quite a few of the biofic, which is the fictionalized biographies of people. And I love reading Stephanie Drey's, her take on historical figures. Like My Dear Hamilton is probably one of my favorite ones. And then it makes me want to go and pick up a biography and read about the real person. I think the last biography I read about was Margaret Mitchell. And that was a couple of years ago.
The last one I read was Rainn Wilson, who is Dwight.
Oh,
Mhm.
Dwight.
He's
I love
very
Dwight.
funny. I read
And
Teen
Lex Luthor.
Yes. What?
He's also the voice of Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah. No, he is you could tell he's just a very funny human being. So have you cast your books yet at all?
Well, for this one coming out, obviously I want Sebastian Stan.
Of
What
course.
about
Right.
the love interest?
No, I tend to look at the men more because they're more exciting to look at. But I go on Pinterest and I find all of these different images of who I want them.
Do you listen to music while you write?
No, it has to be silent.
Completely silent?
Mhm. Well,
Have you-
usually my dog is in here snoring underneath my desk like she is right now. But other than that, I like it pretty quiet.
So can you write in public? Like, can you go to coffee shops and stuff?
Nope,
No?
not at all. I'm very solitary when it comes to writing.
Well, typical writers are. I think some of us can write. One of the authors that I talked to he wrote his entire book in a bar.
Wow.
I have a friend who does that. I could not.
Yeah. The ambient noise. And I get it. I actually kind of miss writing in coffee shops and stuff like that. Even though I put my headset in, I don't know what it is about having the motion.
Just being around the
Yeah.
energy.
The energy I think is good. Also, I do a tremendous amount of people watching for my books. So, what do people do? Danielle.
If you could equate your book to a popular board game, is there a board game that you think works with your books?
Oh, I have never had that question before. It would have to be something with a lot of action and adventure to it. There's this game called Forbidden Island, and you have to move the pieces around before the island sinks. And so all of these bad things are happening. So that could probably be a good one because I always like to have bad things happening. And then everybody hopefully gets off the island by the end. So maybe that one.
Very cool.
Fun.
Okay. What advice would you give authors out there?
To never give up. Because this is a hard industry. And if you don't have the drive to keep doing it, you're just going to get mowed down and discouraged, and you're going to get a lot of rejections. But if it's something that you really love doing, then you have to keep going no matter what.
Very cool. Okay. Shameless self-promotion time, my friend. Tell people where to find you and talk about your latest book.
So my new book coming out in November is called The Brilliance of Stars, and it's based on the question, what would happen if the Winter Soldier fell in love? And it's set during the Great War, and it has secret societies and occults. And I call it my Indiana Jones meets Marvel Avengers mashup with lots of romance. And you can find me on my website, JanelleCiesielski.com, and has all the links to my social media accounts where you can follow me. And you can also join my newsletter, where I only send out newsletters with good information like giveaways and upcoming events and stuff, and try not to bombard you all the time. So
very, very cool. You have been so much fun to have on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
well, thank you for having me. I'm so glad we got to meet at ALA.
Yes, no, it was very, I have the book. See, everyone, I got a copy of the book already. What? I know, I'm super excited. Don't worry, Daniel, when I'm done reading, I will send it to you.
I was going to say, you know where it's headed
Yeah,
next.
no, I figured that would happen. Okay,
Mhm.
this has been Drinking with Authors, my friends. I've been your host, Erica Lance. Our oh my gosh, sponsor today has been Skunk Brothers Spirits. I've held it together this much, and let's see if I can get to the end. Coupon code DWA10. My amazing co-host has been Danielle Orsino, who should probably say the rest of the things since I'm messing everything up.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Drinking with Authors, and please write us a review because we love reading reviews.
Yes, yes, yes. Janelle, thank you so much again for being here, and we will see you guys all next time.
Yay.
Yay.